We're live. The top 10 habits of a healthy and attractive mind. That is what we're talking about today. We're sharing some content from chapter 2 of my new upcoming book. So you can download chapter 1. I will pop the link in the comment section. It's Make Him Yours. Go online and say hi. Don't be shy. makehimyours.com.au/book. Sim is the first one in. Greetings, Simus. It's great to have you here. We'll get some more peeps in here. And we're going to talk today about the 10 habits of a healthy and attractive mind. As I say, this is content from chapter 2 of my book, so I'm excited to share this with you. Now, I'm getting some feedback on my book, and it's been really, really positive. It isn't released yet. I've been getting some really cool feedback, though. The one thing that has come back is that there's a lot of content, possibly even an overwhelming amount. So in a nutshell today, have a think about these 10 habits. When you think about them, really just take away one thing. This is something I'm doing with my clients, and it's something I want to do on the channel as well, is, from each video, whatever the topic, if there's one thing you can take away and action on, just focus on that one thing. Because you can always come back and action on more stuff later. Really, though, if you just take one simple idea, my clients, I'm really drawing back their action steps so they just have 2 or 3 things at the most to focus on. Had a massive client day yesterday. I kid you not. I got up at 6 for the first client and didn't eat breakfast till 2. How bad is that? It was a really good day, though. It was a really good day. And because I was just loving it, I was in the best state yesterday. I was so energized that I didn't need food. Yesterday was a treat. Today was a little bit more chill. I had a client this morning, and then I had a couple of hours to listen to some DVDs from my own coach before I came and said hi to you. How cool is this? Bubble says, do you have a release date? Unfortunately, not yet. I've been switching around some of the programs. As you know, I've got the Empowerment Academy, which is going gangbusters. I'm really enjoying being in there. The feedback I've gotten, I'm always trying to incorporate your feedback. The feedback I've gotten is that the result is not clear enough yet. In other words, people love the idea, but the result is not clear enough. So what I'm going to be doing, because what we're in there right now in the Empowerment Academy, it's really about getting your confidence, getting your security, building the life such that you have the ability to make great dating and relationships decisions. So it's that foundation. And then the second part of it is all about understanding men, communicating with men, what men find attractive. So rather than the Empowerment Academy, which it still will be, but the result was slightly vague, was feedback I was getting, we're going to have the individual modules with their own results, which is so exciting. So if you get in there now, you'll get lifetime access before I release the next one. So you really should. Right now, we've got the full program on establishing your own foundations, makehimyours.com.au/academy, and understanding men, communicating with men, what's going on in men's mind. So those are the 2 ones that are in there at the moment. The first 2 full parts, modules, you get heaps of content from the book in there that I won't be talking about on the channel, makehimyours.com.au/academy. Let's get into today's content, though. We're going to talk the 10 habits of a healthy and attractive mind. It's from chapter 2 of the book. And what I recommend you do is you score yourself as we go along. Give yourself a score out of 10 as to how well you do at that particular facet, and then just go away and work on the one that you feel is maybe not your strongest suit. So straight off the bat, number 1 is the habit of personal responsibility. How attractive is it when a guy takes responsibility for all the shit in his life instead of complaining about it? Right? Instead of him saying, oh, so-and-so didn't do this for me, or, oh, it's their fault that I had this. He just says, you know what? Things didn't go perfect. It's my responsibility to fix it, to move on, to make my life better because of it. You're like, wow, right? Exactly the same as a man who sees a woman who has this. Now, you don't do this to be attractive. It's just a really nice side effect. You do this to have a great life. Because the more you can take responsibility for in your life, literally, the more empowered you feel. Right? If you're not responsible, how can you have any power? Right? But, if I don't interact so well with someone, or if something goes wrong, or if, I take a wrong turn on the highway, or anything happens that didn't meet my expectations and I find myself frustrated, when I'm in a good headspace and I'm training myself to do this more and more, I always want to say, how am I responsible? How am I responsible? The more I can take responsibility for, the more empowered I'm going to feel in my life. Now, this isn't to say that you beat yourself up, because this is where people go wrong with this one. They say, oh, Mark, I don't want to be responsible for everything because then I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. It's about realizing you're not perfect. You're not always going to get it right. So some of my clients who take more responsibility put more blame on themselves and beat themselves up. That's not the point. You're never going to be perfect. Give that shit up, right? It's about taking responsibility for whatever happens and going, if there's a situation I don't like, how can I be responsible for handling it? How was I responsible for creating it? And what can I do in the future without beating myself up at all to improve my life from here on in? That's number one. Give yourself a score out of 10. I'm going to take a few comments. Bubble says, I'm stalking you for much when the book is coming. Joy is in from Hong Kong. Bonnie says, I need to get to bed. Roz says, exactly. Renee's online. Renee, hi. Greetings from the USA. It's great to have you on here, Renee. Accountability, acceptance. Caitlin says, hi, Mark. Can't believe time has changed so much that women are the chasers now. Bonnie, we're all chasers. Let's be honest. A relationship where only one person's chasing is not a relationship. Everyone's chasing now. It's in a good way. We should be chasing. Chasing. Do you know what? This has only just occurred to me now. Chasing is really just investing, isn't it? Chasing is just investing someone. If you're saying, I want to make a guy chase me, you're saying, I want that guy to invest in me. Right? And when we say, oh, I don't want to chase that person, what we want to say is, I don't want to invest in that person. But let's be honest, it's semantics. It's the same thing. How do you invest in someone without chasing them? How do you chase someone without investing in them? It's the same thing. So to say that you'll never chase is saying that you'll never invest, which clearly is not a balanced relationship. Clearly that's ridiculous. What you want to say is, I'm going to chase someone who chases me, i.e. I'm going to invest in someone who invests in me. Good point. Good point, whoever brought that up. Bonnie. Next, we have number two. Number two, second habit is, and you probably won't be surprised at this one, habit of gratitude. Habit of gratitude. This is all about, again, you meet a man who's grateful in his life, who can see the gifts that his past has brought him. You know, I've had different people come through my life, different experiences. Some were very pleasurable at the time, others were very painful. In fact, you're going to see a video soon on when a dating coach gets ghosted, an experience I'm very grateful for. No matter what the experience, and in fact, we've got the chronic disease video coming out in December as well. No matter what it is, the more you can show gratitude for it, the more people are going to just resonate with you. Just think you're awesome. Be like, wow, this person's mind is just amazing. Again, notice we're not actually doing this to be attractive. You're doing this to create a great life, to feel grateful every day, to just the world to be your oyster, and to imagine walking around just grateful for everything. The more we can do that, and one process I had to go through as I was bullied in high school significantly, one process I really had to go through was realigning that and going, okay, what were all the empowering learnings that come from this? And when I looked at everything that's come from it and looked at everything that's flown on from that bullying, I'm just going, wow, I'm so grateful I was bullied. I'm so grateful that I was bullied significantly in high school, because I would not have any of the stuff I have now if it wasn't for all of that. I'm so grateful for every relationship I've had. I'm so grateful for the friends I have and everything that's come through, even the woman that goes to me. I'm incredibly grateful for that experience. You're going to get to hear a first-hand account of that soon. So gratitude is number two. We've got the habit of personal responsibility, habit of gratitude. Give yourself a score out of 10. Let me know your score in the comments. Dorothy says, what about when you admit you're being emotionally vulnerable by expressing your needs? I'm grieving a loss and I just want to be held. And then going out dancing and learning when he turns me. Okay, I don't have the end of that comment. I'm sorry, Dorothy. Jessica says, I was bullied a lot too. Got 7s and 8s for your scores. Nice. Let's keep going with this one. The habit of growth is number 3. The habit of growth. And growth isn't just, oh, I'm growing. Growth is the ability to reframe your problems as growth opportunities, right? Think of the biggest problems you've had in your life. Think of the biggest problems. If you picture those, I bet that you will say that they're the things that grew you the most. Am I right? Am I wrong? I bet you will say that the biggest problems, I know certainly for me, the biggest problems I've had are the things that have grown me the most. So it's interesting that the bigger our problem, the more we grow from it. And we can always see that in hindsight. But can you do it when it's actually happening? The habit of growth is that quick little reframe that goes, oh shit, I have a problem here. Here's a growth opportunity. Wow, I get to grow today. Here's a problem. That's a really cool, attractive habit, and it's going to make mental health phenomenal, right? And it's going to make your life amazing. That's number 3. Give yourself a score out of 10, and don't forget to hit the like button as you do. It helps as you go. It helps the video get shared around. Grow when you're planted. Dating after 10 years is challenging. I think everything comes down to learning and how to give a damn, says Pamela. Sim says 10. Nice work. Jess says I was married for 15 years. Iris has a 10. Tanner says, hello, everyone. What a great crew. Hey, if you're not in the Facebook group, check the description. Can you guys see the description? Let me know if you can see the description. Otherwise, I'll put the link in the comments box here. And make sure, what was I going to say? Oh, if you are in the academy, I'm going straight on to the one-on-one live stream after the academy. So you can ask your questions personally. Very cool. Next up, what have we got next? It is the habit of playfulness is number 4. This is really your ability to connect with that inner child and see the world with the opportunity and curiosity that a child, that a puppy, that a kitten has, right? How much do we look at kids, puppies, kittens, any kind of young animal and smile at their curiosity for the world? How much fun are they having, right? How cool is that mentally if we could all live in that space? How great would we feel within ourselves? So number 4 is the habit of playfulness. And playfulness, of course, communicates confidence because you're not taking anything too seriously, especially meeting men, an area where you can have fun and you can connect and you can flirt and enjoy yourself. So I love playfulness. I love to coach it. One of the elements of the academy is really going to be bringing out sort of extroverted skills for introverts. So if you are feeling like an introvert and you want to master some extroverted skills, much like myself, head to the academy, makingmeals.com.au/academy. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that in the coming months. So that's number 4. Give yourself a score for playfulness. Give yourself a score for playfulness. Leah says, can our friends see we're in the Facebook group? I don't believe so, Leah. Honestly, a lot of people, it's a funny question, isn't it? A lot of people have such, let's call it spade fade. A lot of people have such shame for working on this area of their life. And, one of the big challenges I had starting out was that clients didn't want to share their stories so much because it almost becomes this shameful thing. And I'm like, nah, fuck it. Own it. I'm always telling the women that I meet that I love working on this area and that I want to get better in this area. I think it's valuable. And I think if someone piles shame on you for that, we go to a wealth seminar and people go, okay. Some people might find it weird, but mostly it's whatever. We go to a business seminar, we go to an entrepreneur seminar, we go to a really anything else seminar and people go, yeah, cool. We go to a relationship seminar, which is the most important area of our life. And people go, what's wrong with you? That's kind of shameful. I don't get that. I really don't. That doesn't vibe with me. So I reckon own it, be proud to be in the group, get in there and own the fact that you're working to create better relationships in your life. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I've certainly garnered all the rewards from doing that myself. And I reckon you should have the same. You deserve the same for yourself. Let's go number 5. It is the habit of emotional maturity. So this is the ability to know when our emotions are leading us astray. It's the ability to, maybe it's a small thing. Maybe it's, I probably shouldn't eat that extra ice cream tonight since I didn't train today. Maybe it's a bigger thing. Like, I really do need to walk away from that person who's not adding value to my life. In fact, the ability, if someone isn't adding value, to go from, but I love him. I don't know. He did this horrible thing, but I love him. He did this horrible thing, so even though I love him, but I love him, to even though I love him, I need to put my standards, actions, boundaries, etc. in place. One of the reasons I love working with clients and with you on lifestyle, on building a life, on getting the foundation right, whether it's the support network, whether it's your passions, whether it's your money, whether it's your career, is that all these things basically serve as a the foundation to just make good decisions when you date. That's really what it comes down to. Is you don't need to be a 10 out of 10 in every area of your life. Is you just need to have enough going that you can put your standards, even if it's hard, that you can put your standards and your boundaries in place. Right? That's it. And then you'll have great relationships. You can do that, you can have great relationships. So that's why I love, the first section of the academy is all about empowering that. So if you've had problems with insecurities, if you've had problems with making, putting standards, boundaries in place, feeling secure within yourself, that first program in the Empowerment Academy is exactly what's going to solve that. Because it just gets the foundation. It gets those scores up to the point where you can go, hey, I'm meeting my needs from my life well, so I can make a great decision with this guy. That's it. That's really it. So give yourself a score for emotional maturity, the ability to know when your emotions are leading you astray and then act in the way that you need to that's good for your life. Let's have a look at number 6. Number 6 is the habit of health. How attractive is a guy who looks after his health? Clearly, right? Same for a guy for when a woman looks after her health. Again, it's not about having to be young or having to be 21 or anything like that. It's about looking after your mind and your body, because people forget the mental health up here, right? Taking responsibility, mental health, gratitude, mental health. A lot of these habits are mental health habits, right? I'm not a doctor. I can't talk about anything to do with medications whatsoever. What I can say is that a lot of my clients who were near going to the doctors, taking things for depression, actually got out of it or didn't need to anymore when they started meeting their needs within their life, empowering themselves, feeling more responsible, feeling grateful. All these things improved their mental health, and a lot of them didn't feel like going to the doctor anymore. I can say that. Can't make any medical comments, but I can say that a lot of them felt like, actually, I don't feel like I need to anymore. I'm living on purpose, feeling empowered. So 6 is health. It's really the ability to prioritize that. And health is energy, right? Emotion is energy. It's energy in motion. That's what emotion is. And a guy with more energy is going to be more attractive. I'm sure you wouldn't argue there. A guy, and I'm not talking nervous energy, I'm talking real, authentic passion and energy, right? If you think of all the good emotions, like I'm over the moon, I'm high on life, I'm feeling energized. They're all positive emotional states, right? Whereas if you're down in the dumps, you're feeling low, you're feeling dull, they're all depressive emotional states, aren't they? So you look after your health, you have more energy, you look after your energy, obviously you're going to feel better within yourself. And this is the coolest part, be more attractive. So give yourself a score on your ability to prioritize your health, physical and mental. Give yourself a score out of 10 to prioritize physical and mental health. Had a cheeky mind blank there. What do we got? Comments. I don't know how I stop taking care of myself sometimes because I have too tendency to focus on the other person too much. Yeah, Jessica, this is something I work through. I've been doing a lot of stuff with infatuation and helping clients avoid that. Something I really work through is helping them realize that they have this within themselves. Right? We haven't really talked about masculine and feminine balances, but whatever that guy is triggering, to know that you can access that within yourself. Right? Because if you do something to my mind, if I'm dating you and you do something to my mind that I don't know how to do for myself, then my brain starts to link you with that emotion or that area of my brain. You are like a walking, talking password to have that feeling, right? Whereas if I know how to get that feeling on my own, then I know that when I go to you for it, it's not coming from a place of desperation and need. It's not coming from a place of obsession because you're the only password I know. It's like I have my own password to that area of my house, and then you have a password for it as well. So you can make me feel like that, and then I can feel like that within myself or have other things in my life that make me feel like that. Right? Then I remove all the obsessiveness and the need for you, and I'm just with you because I want to be with you. Right? That's a very simple version of how I move my clients from infatuation into healthy attachment, fulfilling connection. Good comment. Good comment. Let's go to the next one. What are we up to? Number 7. What do we do? Playfulness was 4. 5 was emotional maturity. 6 was health. Yeah, 7 and 8. 7. I love 7 and 8. Strength and courage is 7 and 8. You've probably seen these on the channel before. 7 is strength. It's your ability to put in place boundaries. It's your ability to tell people no. It's your ability to basically put up your walls and to tell the world to have strong enough boundaries, basically in whatever context that means. So it's incredibly important we have boundaries, that we look after our boundaries. In fact, the whole live stream last time, a month ago, was on that topic. So if you haven't watched that one, go have a watch of that. And by the way, hit the like button on this video if you are enjoying it and share it around. So strength is all about having those boundaries, right? And if you don't have those, as we were talking about earlier, you get walked on, right? You get walked on, I get walked on, we'd all get walked on if we didn't have boundaries. So strength is your ability to basically push back against the world and put your boundaries in place. Number 8 is courage, and you will have seen this in a previous video. If you're a follower, if you're not, you should subscribe and hit the little bell. 8 is courage. So courage is the ability, ironically, to take down walls. So there are a lot of women, in fact, there are a lot of people who wear masks, right? And this is classic when we have our authentic selves and then we get hurt, so we wear a mask around it. One of the masks that we wear is the independent mask, right? Men do this all the time. It's more common known in women when we go, hey, I'm strong, independent woman, don't need no man, no use. Oof. What are they doing? Putting up the walls, right? That was their way to deal with the pain. So courage is the way to take down those walls, or to put gates in those walls, or to tell the world yes. If strength is the ability to block out the bad, then courage is the ability to let in the good. And you need both. And you can be good for a while and then get thrown off, or you can get thrown off and then come back and be good at it again. You need both strength and courage to have great relationships in your life, but more importantly, to have great mental health. Because if you feel like you don't have strength, or you can't put your boundaries in place, or if you feel like you can't let people in, clearly both of those are going to affect you. Of course. If you can't let people in, you can't have connections. The human psyche is built for connection. If you can't put the walls up, you're going to feel like a victim of the world, like you're being deterred. It's totally disempowering. So you need both. So give yourself a score out of 10 for both number 7 and number 8, strength and courage. Put them in the comment box below. Hit the like button on the video. Don't forget that. And at the end of this video, don't forget, I will be live in the academy we're talking, well, actually, it's Q&A, actually, so I don't go into the academy with a particular topic. I go in and basically talk about whatever question you want to ask. And we go on some really interesting conversational tangents, because you just get to either come on webcam or come on audio and ask me your questions directly for a fraction of the cost of what it would be to be a one-on-one client. So that's pretty darn cool. Iris says my wall is bigger than Trump's. Might have a little work to do there, Iris. Mark, I love you. And 7, brilliant. How do I get closure from an ex? Says Sherry, who suddenly didn't want to be with me. Blocked me off everything. It's been 5 months and I'm still struggling understanding why I have no contact with him. Sherry, it's hard for me to break down the situation without knowing it, obviously. I'd check out the closure video, how to get closure from a guy. And the other thing is, we always forget in these situations, if people's actions are saying they don't want to be with us, we forget how shit the relationship would be if they were. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, let's say I have, I don't know, I have someone who is really, who is great in a lot of ways, but she's really uncomfortable during, say, sex. Let's just say it just doesn't work for her. It just isn't working, right? And she decides to say, no, Mark, I can't see you anymore because of this. Or maybe she doesn't even say it. She just ghosts and blocks me, a la this example, right? People don't do these things unless something is clearly broken. And so if that person is perceiving this thing as clearly broken, then if they'd stayed with us, it would have been really shitty. Like really shitty. Because Sherry, you're sitting at home kind of going, oh, we had this great relationship. We could still have it now if he hadn't ghosted me. Actually, if he was still around, you'd have the shittest relationship in the world. because there was clearly a massive problem there for him, whether it was emotional unavailability, whether it's fear of connection, whether he couldn't handle something in his life. I don't know what his problem was, but the fact that he ghosted and did that shows me that there was a big problem there on his end. And thus, the relationship that you're mourning, it's not a thing. When you're mourning a shit relationship, it feels a lot nicer than mourning the perfect one. And that is what you're mourning now, because he's clearly stated with his actions he couldn't provide a healthy, fulfilling relationship. So if you're going to mourn something, just make sure you mourn the not very good at all relationship that it was. Let's go on to the next question. Next habit. We're up to number 9. Number 9 is one I have to get a lot of my clients to work on, especially the professional ones, is self-care. It's the habit of self-care. Imagine if a guy just gives and gives and gives and gives until he exhausts himself. Okay, it's not very attractive. It really shows, if a guy was doing that, it shows that he's people pleasing and not valuing himself. Okay, so you've got to be sure to do the same. You've got to be sure to take care of yourself. You've got to be sure to look after yourself, to do whatever it is that recharges your batteries. Because then when you're giving from a place of abundance, not from a place of need, like that guy who's just giving and sacrificing himself would be. So as I say, these are all mental habits. They're really primarily for up here. But the cool part is they make you really attractive in the process. So they come under my banner of personal foundation. They're in the part 1 of the academy about building confidence. And if you are feeling insecure or not feeling very confident within yourself, not good at setting boundaries, don't feel like you've got a good life foundation, that part 1 of the academy is exactly what solves those problems. It's about getting your life together, getting that secure base, making great decisions, empowering your support circle, all of that so you can make great dating relationship decisions. So makehimyours.com.au, I'll put the link there. Make him yours. If that's a problem of yours, only if that's a problem of yours, that would be for you. makehimyours.com.au/academy. Self-care. The last one. Can you guess it? Can you guess it? Can you guess it? It's along slightly similar lines. The habit of self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness. So this is your ability to, as it states, forgive yourself, see that you're human. This is one that I had real problems with and still need to continue to improve, because I have this fear of letting my clients down, right? I have this fear of letting you down. I have just fear of having some responsibility, not in terms of their actions or their feelings, but just, being a responsible coach for someone. And then what if I'm not good enough, or what if I'm not perfect, or, I have these fears. And I really need to have that self-forgiveness and know that I will always do the best I can within myself, and that, in the end, I'm not going to be perfect. In fact, the client I was talking to this morning, she is in the medical profession. And of course, I am too. I've got my veterinary degree. And she said, Mark, I beat myself up so much about this relationship with this guy that I couldn't make work. This is years ago. And I know, Mark, if I knew then what I knew now, I could have made that relationship work. And she said, you're a medical professional. It's like having a patient that you lost. It's like having a dog, or, in my case, a dog, in her case, a human that you lost, that passed away because of a bit of knowledge that years ago you didn't know. And now you know it, and you beat yourself up with shame and guilt over not knowing it. And I said, yeah, I can relate. We get that in the veterinary industry, and I certainly have it in the coaching industry. It's a fear of, what if I'm not smart enough, or what if I don't say the right thing, or what if I learn the right thing that I could have said to a client a year from now. And the reality is, you're always going to be growing. You are always going to be learning new things. In fact, if you're on this live stream now, I love you because you're investing in this area of your life. You're taking on some new information, right? Just as I've done so many times from so many of my own coaches and from other people and professionals, right? It also means that we're going to learn shit that we realize we wish we'd known 5 years ago. And as I become a better coach, I'm going to get more and more of that. Like, I'm going to look back right, 5 years from now at the things I coach now and probably go, oh, I wish you'd known the super duper head schmiggling technique, right? You could have solved their problems instantly. But I don't know it, this that technique right now, right? So I do the absolute best I can to my ability with my clients, and then I have to know that that's enough. And so self-forgiveness is the critical 10th step. And I find a lot of my professional clients really need this one because the process of growth literally means you don't know everything. And thus, right where you are right now is the least point you'll be at. You're always going to go forward from there. The cool part is, without that experience, that thing where you didn't know or didn't have enough knowledge, it wouldn't have inspired you to grow. Right? In my client's example, if she gave the medical example, if she lost a patient because of a piece of knowledge she didn't have, well, now thanks to that painful experience, she's now going to grow and learn all that knowledge, right? I wouldn't be here helping you empower this area of your life and you to the next person if we didn't have some painful experiences to be grateful for along the way. If we didn't have some times where we didn't know what it was, none of us would be here learning what it is. So self-forgiveness is inextricably tied to growth. As soon as you grow, you need self-forgiveness, right? And the more you grow, the more you need self-forgiveness because the more you realize you didn't know. So freaking forgive yourself. It's real important. It's real important. You're not perfect. You never will be. Give up trying to be. I had to learn the hard way. Give yourself a score out of 10 on self-forgiveness. I'm going to summarize and you can do all your scores quickly if you have just joined us. Heidi came on and says, oh my God, my first live. Isn't this beautiful? You can probably see where I filmed Ask Mark more recently. It's a bit blown out in the background there, unfortunately, so maybe you can't see. But yeah, beautiful Brisbane in the background. We're going live today. We got 10 habits of a healthy and attractive mind. These habits make you very attractive. They're from part 2 of my book, which you can find in the link in the description. But more importantly than making you attractive, they give you great mental health. As I said, I'm not a doctor, but what I can say is that a lot of my clients who were feeling depressive feelings or were considering going to the doctors haven't needed to because they empowered themselves and got this working at its potential, which you have, which all of them have. So let's go through them. Number 1, the habit of personal responsibility. That is the ability to take responsibility for the good and the bad in your life. The more responsible you are, the more empowered you are. And you have to have the non-blame, non-self-forgiveness thing. Otherwise, you'll blame yourself for everything. It's about taking responsibility, not about taking blame. Number 2 is a habit of gratitude. The ability to see the benefits, to be grateful for what you've got and the life we have. I don't know if you know, a cat bit me recently. I don't know if you know that. I got bitten by a cat. I'll see if I can show the webcam. I got bitten by, so it got its tooth in there, It went through the joint, basically. I had to go straight to surgery. So they had to open this up, do all this. This was about a month ago. And, I'm going to have this little scar here now, which is going to hurt the feeling in that finger, which is a bit of a bothersome spot to have a scar because obviously it's the most sensitive part of your hand is that finger there. But you know what? I can look at this 2 ways. I can be really shitty at the cat, or I can be incredible, or this scar can be an incredible reminder of how good the medical care is in this country and how that a single surgeon was able to stop me losing most of my hand to infection. Right? So gratitude is so important. That's number 2. Number 3 is the habit of growth, the ability to see your problems as opportunities. Number 4 is the habit of playfulness. Ability to have fun, connect with your inner child. Number 5 is the habit of emotional maturity. It's the ability to know when your emotions are leading you astray and to be able to act in the way that empowers your life. Number 6 is the habit of health. This means prioritizing your physical and your mental health. Number 7 and 8 is the habits of strength and courage. Strength is the ability to put up walls and stop the bad getting in. Courage is the ability to open walls, take them down, and let the good in. Number 9 is self-care. This is the ability to recharge your own batteries so that you can abundantly give to others. And number 10 is the habit of self-forgiveness, which, as I just went on a rant about, is extremely important because it's inextricably related to growth and realizing you're not perfect and never will be. So give yourself a score out of 10 in each and every one. And what I recommend you do is find just one. Keep this real simple. Don't get overwhelmed by content. Pick one area that you want to work on, and then one tangible action step you can take in the next week to empower that area. This is like a mini version of literally exactly what my clients would do. Is just find the one thing that you want to work on and one tangible action step you can do. So I'll run through some examples. If it's responsibility, you say, okay, whatever problem that I have that's really pissing me off at the moment, I'm going to take full responsibility for the problem, and I'm going to say I'm fully responsible for how I respond to it. So you might say, I don't know, if the problem is a roommate who's bothering you, you might say, it's my responsibility to talk to the roommate and sort this out. This problem is my responsibility. Great, you're feeling more empowered. Number two, if it's growth, two's growth, yeah. You say, okay, the next problem, I'm going to invite in a new great problem. I'm going to invite the problem of, I don't know, telling someone new about my passion or getting out there and meeting a guy, right? I'm going to invite that problem in and then reframe it as a growth opportunity. You can go through all of these. I won't give you examples for everyone. They should be pretty obvious. If the one you want to work on is strength and boundaries, you might say, what's the boundary I've been violated lately? I need to have one conversation with one person about what my boundary is. That could be it. And then you have an action to support that boundary after you've stated it verbally. Okay? So you've got your 10 habits of a healthy and attractive mind. You have got your one, hopefully, that you want to work on. And if you can think of one tangible action step, share it in the comments, by the way, if you can. Share it in the comments of one tangible action step that you can take to empower your life in the next 7 days. That's the content for today. That's chapter 2 of the book. Remember, you can get the first chapter from makehimyours.com.au/book. And don't forget, I am about to go live on the Academy live stream where you can actually come on webcam and ask your questions one-on-one. So if you're wanting the 2 programs in there at the moment, as I say, the result is if the problem you've been having is you're feeling insecure within yourself, your boundary setting isn't good, you just don't have the confidence to make good decisions around men, this is the program that's going to solve it. Is that one in the Academy. Is we get that whole foundation sorted with a great supportive network so you're making great dating relationship decisions. Second problem, if you're struggling to understand men in dating, if you're just not getting why they're doing what they're doing, what drives them, what they're attracted to really, come into the Empowerment Academy because that second module gives you a total understanding of men, why they do what they do, how they act. It's all about understanding men. Plus, any extra questions you have, you can ask me on the live stream, which starts in 19 minutes time. Thank you all so much for supporting me and letting me share my content with you. You're amazing. We got Jessica, B-Girl, we got Beloved, Mandy G's caught me live for the first time. Hugs for you too, Mandy. You're the best. Amanda's online. Great to see you. We got Sims. You're on for the whole live stream. Sims, you're amazing. Susan's online. Hey, the rest of this December, we got some good content. And from 1st of January, you are going to love it. 3 videos a week. 3 videos a week, 3 nights a week from the 1st of January. That will last at least until the end of March. And then we'll probably dial it back to 2. But I'm going to hit you with 36 videos in the first 12 weeks, and they're going to be all different. I promise you won't get sick of me because they're all going to be really different styles and modules. You're going to meet some channel applicants. We had some fun. I embarrassed myself. Make sure you've got your eyes closely on the channel. Share it with your friends. From the 1st of January, we're taking things to the next level. So look, you have an amazing night. I'll see you in the Academy live stream in about 18 minutes time. And I can't wait. The next live, by the way, will be on January. It's going to be on the Friday, the 4th of January / Thursday, the 3rd of January. So I'll see you on that live stream and in the Empowerment Academy and in the Facebook group. Merry Christmas to everyone. You guys are freaking amazing and I love you. And I will see you real soon. Mwah.